Hi everyone and a warm welcome to this video. In today's video, we are going to look at the NMAT application process. So we'll be going through all the steps that you are supposed to take to complete the application. And in addition to that, we will also be looking at the NMIMS application process because these two things are separate. When you register for the NMAT, you are registering only for the test, but you also need to apply to the respective colleges separately. And that is why we'll be covering the NMIMS application process as part of this video. So let's get started. Now, the first thing that you will have to do is to go to the main website of NMAT, which is register.nmat.org. Now, if you're creating your account for the very first time, click on register and enter your first name followed by last name. You're not supposed to enter middle name here. And just in case you don't have a last name, you're supposed to enter a dot there. Then enter your email address and mobile number. Make sure that you keep these two things constant throughout the admission journey because all the updates and communication will be sent to these two things. Then select the country and do the CAPTCHA and click on I agree and create your account. You're done. Now, let's say if you're somebody who has taken NMAT the previous year, maybe you had taken it in the year 21. Now, you would already have an NMAT account, in which case you can simply click on login and enter the details that you had used last year to access your account. In that case, you don't have to create a new account. So let me create an account and show you how the dashboard looks. So once you have created your account, you're going to get a confirmation email and you have to click on the link, after which your account gets activated. You will also be sent a password that you're supposed to use to log into your account. Using those details, once you log in, this is the dashboard that you're going to see. On the dashboard, the first thing is, of course, the registration form. So what you need to do is you can click on register now and start filling the application form. Below this, there are, of course, a lot of options: schedule, reschedule, retake, view exam status, and so on. All of these will start getting activated once you have completed your registration process. So first thing that we'll do is we'll click on register now and start filling the form. So we are on step 1 out of the 7 steps that are there in this form. The first part is personal information. So here you will have to select the title. The first name will get auto-populated and the last name as well. Middle name is what you will have to enter. After this, you have to select gender, date of birth, and once you select date of birth, your age will get auto-calculated. Select category, nationality, and native language, and upload a recent photograph. Make sure that the photograph is clear and the maximum upload size is 1 MB. In case you are not able to reduce the size, use a website called picresize.com so that you can reduce the size under 1 MB and then upload. There are 3 formats which are accepted: JPEG, JPG, and PNG. The next part is parents' details. So here you have to enter your parents' name exactly the way it appears on SSC and HSC mark sheet, and you have to enter father's name and mother's name. The next part is identity proof. So here you will have to select the photo ID and the signature ID, the name as per photo ID and the photo ID number. And lastly, special needs. So if this section is applicable to you, you can indicate what sort of help do you need on the test day, and you will also have to upload the disability certificate. If it is not applicable to you, you simply say no, and then you can click on next. So once you complete all the information on this page, you can click on next, which will take you to the next section, which is contact information. Please note that just in case you had taken NMAT last year, a lot of data fields will be auto-populated. There will be some things that you will be able to modify. There will be some things that you will not be able to modify. So make sure that you log in and check out what all things are already there. And the ones that you can modify them. So don't worry, don't think that your registration has to be like a new registration. The NMAT form, the way it works is, if you have already taken NMAT in the previous year, they're going to store that information. And that is why you will have a lot of things which will be predefined for you, so that your actual effort in filling up the form is going to reduce. You will be possibly done with the form in about 5 minutes, because you will see that almost 80-85% of your form is already going to be filled. So now we are on the second part, which is contact information. So here your mobile number will get auto-populated and your primary email ID will also get auto-populated. You can enter an alternate contact number here, and you will also have to give an alternate email ID. So out of this, the alternate contact number is a mandatory thing, whereas alternate email ID is an optional field. You will have to enter your address for communication. So select the country Address line 1, 2, and the pin code is what is mandatory. They have asked whether your permanent address is same as the address for communication. You can select yes if it is applicable, no if it is not. And in that case, you'll also have to enter the permanent address. So this is what you will have to do. And once you're done, you can click on next. So now we are on step 3, which is your education qualification and your work experience details. The first thing that you will start with is your highest education qualification. So here you will have to select one of the two options, completed or appearing for graduation and attend master's degree. So in case you are somebody who is currently in the final year or you have completed your graduation only, which is the highest level of education in your case, you select this option. In case you have done masters, you can select the second option. You will have to select the country from where you have done your graduation or you're currently pursuing your graduation. So let's say if I select India as the undergraduate country, then it will ask me university and the college. In case you do not find your college or university in the list, you are supposed to select other option and fill the details. So you can do the appropriate selection here, then select the stream. So there are a lot of options here. Let me select one option randomly. And now we have mode of pursuing / completion of graduation degree. Is it correspondence, distance learning, full-time, open school, or part-time? So let me select full-time for now. And for graduation status, you can again indicate whether you have completed it or you are still pursuing the course, in which case you will select not completed. Now, if you have completed, they're going to simply ask you year of passing or appeared. What is the marking scheme, whether it is percentage or CGPA out of 10, 9, 8, 7, 4. So they have made your life a little easy. You can select what is the CGPA max and what is the obtained CGPA or percentage. So if you follow the percentage system, you can enter the obtained percentage. In case you have a CGPA system, let's say CGPA out of 10, you can select and enter the CGPA that you have got. Okay, so again, for you, whatever is applicable, make sure that you enter those details correctly. Then comes the work experience details. So the question is, do you have any work experience? You can select yes or no. Let's say you select yes as the option. It will ask you what sort of experience do you have? So the first question is type of engagement. Were you employee, entrepreneur, or self-employed? You have to enter the sector, whether public sector or private sector or not-for-profit. Now, once you enter this, you have to enter total work experience as on 1st July 22. You have to make the selection on your own. So you will have to select the year followed by the months. So let's say if you have 1 year and 2 months, you will have to make a selection like this, that I have 1 year and 2 months of experience. There's a question which says which industries best reflect your experience, and you can select up to a maximum of 3 industries here. So you'll have to select the industry. So let's say you worked in accounting, you will select that, and then you will enter the function. And then finally, you will have to enter the current or the last organization. So that is something that you'll have to enter here. Now, in case you don't have any work experience, you can simply select no, and then you will not have to enter any information regarding it. Once you're done with all of this, you can click on next. So we will now start with step 4, and this is possibly the most important step of your NMAT application. This is going to be your college selection or school preference. So please note that the NMAT by GMAT exam registration and school application is a 2-step process. Step 1 is register for the NMAT, which is what we are doing right now. But as I said in the beginning of the video as well, registering for the test doesn't mean that you are eligible to apply for any of these colleges. It doesn't mean that you have already applied to these colleges. Step 1 is registering for the NMAT. Once you're done with NMAT registration, you get your NMAT ID, and you're supposed to use that ID to apply to the individual colleges. So step 2 is go to the respective school website and complete the school application form separately. A lot of times students think that they have filled the NMAT form, so they are done with the application process. That is not the case. NMAT registration is only for the test, and you have to apply to the colleges individually. So what you need to do here is make the college preference selection. Again, you will have to go to the colleges and apply to them. But here they give you 5 free choices, wherein your score will be directly shared with that particular institute. So this is just for the NMAT to share your score of NMAT with that particular college. It doesn't mean that you are applying to the college. So here you can select 5 preferences which are free. In case you want to make any extra additions here, you can do that, but there will be a payment associated with that. So for every additional school beyond allowed free choices, you have to pay 354 rupees. Now here, what we are going to do is we are going to give you a table so you'll be able to see it on screen. And these are the recommendations that we have. So these are the colleges that we have in our list of colleges, and you can fill the colleges of your choice from this particular list. We also encourage you to go to the respective websites of these colleges and know more about the programs that you wish to apply. The step 5 of the form is very, very simple. So they have asked a few questions just to know more about how did you find about the NMAT and so on, and when you're planning to start with your course. So the first question is about NMAT by GMAC. How did you learn about NMAT by GMAC? And in case you are an IMS student, we would definitely encourage you to select coaching center and enter the name of the coaching center as IMS. Your current background is what you will have to enter. And the question is, when do you plan to start your management program? Again, tentative time frame is fine. So you can say, for example, June 2023. They've also asked which other exams you're planning to take. Again, you can make the appropriate selection. Any exams that you have taken prior to this, again, the selection doesn't matter, but you can fill out the details that you want. How are you planning to finance your management program? Where would you like to study? So you can select up to 3 countries there. Are you in any way associated with helping candidates? So you can select no there. So once you are done with this, again, a pretty simple part to cover, finish it off, you can click on next. So now we are on the penultimate step, which is declaration. Now, before you click on the declaration part, make sure that you go through your entire form once again, starting from the first section to the 5th section. Make sure that all the data that you have entered is correct. Do a preview so that you will be able to see your entire form. And only after you are satisfied that I have entered everything correctly, click on I agree. Your name and date will get auto-populated. This is the date on which you are filling up the form. And then you can click on continue, which will take you to the final step, which is the payment. So now we are on the last step, which is payment. Here you will have to review your payment details. So your name, email ID, and phone number you have already entered. You're supposed to enter your address, select the country and the state. Once you're done with that, you can submit and make payment. So the total is going to be 2,800 plus taxes. In case you have made any additional selections in terms of school preferences, that will get also added here. Also, in case you have gone for the GMAC official practice exams, these are of course optional things, but if you go for that, then that will also get added to your total. So finally, you make the payment and then you're done. Once you make the payment, you're going to get a confirmation on screen, and that will give you your NMAT ID, and you'll also get a mail once you have successfully made the payment. Now, this NMAT ID is what you're supposed to use for your NMIMS application process. So let me show you how that works. So once you have your NMAT ID and you're done with the entire payment process, etc., you are essentially going to book your exam slot. You will be able to do that through your dashboard itself. So what you will have to do is log into the dashboard and you have to go to schedule/reschedule. So you will see an option here which says book exam slot. Once you click on this, there are some instructions and you can go through them. Now there are 2 formats available. You can either take it from your home, which will be online proctored, or you can go to a test center and take it. So there are 2 options given here. You can specify the mode. So please select exam mode. How would you like to take the test, at test center or online proctored at home? For online proctored at home, there are quite a few tech requirements that you will have to satisfy. So you'll have to check the system requirements, and only once you are certain that your computer or your laptop or all the requirements that they have given are going to be satisfied, then only you should go for the online proctored at home. Otherwise, it is always better to go for the test center attempt. There are some things that you need to keep in mind, that they keep opening slots at a regular interval, but then the frequency is not something that is known to students. So nobody will know when the slots are going to be opened, and that is why you will have to keep checking it. So now I'm on the booking dashboard and I can see that available exam is 1 from 10th October to 19 December. I need to click on proceed. So there is a tick box here and it will automatically be ticked. You click on proceed and then it shows a policy agreement wherein you have a lot of things, you can go through it. But the important thing is the photo ID and the signature ID, which you'll have to carry at the test venue. So please note that following are not acceptable as IDs, which is photocopies or notarized copies, learner's driving license. So I hope all of you will read this and make sure that you stick to the guidelines that they have given. So once you scroll to the bottom, you can click on I have read all the policies and click on agree for all exams. So here I have to actually select the slot in which I'm supposed to take the test. So I can decide the city in which I'm going to take the test, and then it will show me different options for the test center. For example, if I select Agra, it will give me different test centers where the test is conducted in Agra. So right now I'm going to select Mumbai as my selection, and there are different centers that they have given. Okay, so let me select one center randomly, and I'm in the month of October. So you'll have to go to that particular month. So if you're planning to take it in October or November and so on. So for October, now it shows me that on the 10th October, I have 3 slots. I can choose any one that I want to book. So I can select that. If you want to change the calendar look, you can change from month to week and so on. For the next month, for example, for November, I can see slots for the 13th November. So depending on the choice that you have made in terms of city and the center, you will figure out what the availability is. And based on your convenience, you can decide which slot you want to take the test in. Please make sure that you take the test only when you are sufficiently prepared, because NMIMS is going to accept only the first attempt. That is what they have given in their brochure. So because they are going to accept only one attempt, which is going to be your first attempt, you have to give your best. That is why take the test only when you're confident that I am completely prepared and I will be able to give my best. So that is why don't be in a hurry to take the test on the first day itself. You will have sufficient time, and that is why make sure that you are fully prepared before you take your attempt. So once you make the choice that I have decided now that I'm going to take the test on this particular slot, you can select that slot and then it will ask you for a confirmation. You click on confirm and you have 10 minutes to complete that transaction. So you click on confirm and then your seat is booked. You will get a confirmation mail that your test is going to happen on so and so date at so and so center. So that confirmation mail is very important. You're also supposed to carry it on the test day. At the same time, you'll also have an admit card, which you'll be able to download from your dashboard, which you're supposed to carry on the test day. So this completes your slot booking process. So we will now start the NMIMS application process. Once you visit the NMIMS website, you will see at the top right, there is an option which says apply now. You can click on that and then it takes you to the bottom of the page, wherein they have given 2 steps. The step 1 we have already completed, which is application to NMAT, and we now have the GMAC ID that we are going to use for step 2. Before you start with the step 2, I suggest that all of you check this document, which is the check your eligibility document. Let me show you the contents of the document because it is very important. So the first thing that they have given in this document is the different programs that NMIMS offers and at the campuses at which these programs are offered and the number of seats for each of them. Also, they have given an example in terms of when you should complete the NMIMS application process. For example, register with the NMIMS before your scheduled date of exam for your candidature to be accepted at NMIMS. Candidates are requested to register for NMIMS before NMAT by GMAC examination. For example, if your exam is scheduled on 9th October, you are supposed to complete your registration process before 8th October. And this is because NMIMS is going to accept score of only the first attempt that you take at the NMAT. They've also given you the NMIMS application fees. So for NMAT, if you remember, we had completed the payment process, and that is only for NMAT. For NMIMS, you have to pay separate application fees. So they have given details of that here. Then the eligibility criteria for each of the programs, because there are some programs where they have some specific requirements. And once we go to the preferences page, you will be able to figure out which 2 programs are those. But even before that, if you can go through this document, you will be able to understand that these 2 programs, or apart from these 2 programs, you don't really have specific requirements as such. Then you'll also be able to see what is the selection process. So what they do after the NMAT is conducted, and then what are the documents that you will need at the time of admission. They've also given the fees for last year. So just in case you want to figure out for which program, what was the fee like, you can go through this. And then the refund policy in terms of when you cancel your admission and what percentage of money you get back. And then at the end, they have given the important dates. So the application has already started and the end date is going to be 31st October. But as we saw, you need to apply for NMIMS before your first attempt of NMAT, and then only your score will be considered. So once you're done reading the document, come back to this page and click on Apply Now, which will take you to the dashboard wherein you have to complete the rest of the process. So this is the dashboard for the NMIMS application. You will see on the left-hand side different menu options such as profile, queries, communication, and so on. Very similar to what you see in the NMAT dashboard as well. And then under postgraduate program, you can see MBA application form 23. The application fees of 2,600 rupees. The application number is going to be your GMAC ID. And then under action, you will see continue to registration form. So you need to click here and then complete that form. So this is how the form looks. There are personal details. A lot of it will be auto-populated based on the data that you had submitted for the NMAT application. But here you will have to enter some of the fields such as the salutation, the first name and the last name will get auto-populated. The gender you will have to select. Your date of birth will be automatically visible and your email address will be there. So you don't have to enter those. They will be auto-populated. But whatever are the remaining fields, you will have to fill those. It will also show you your NMAT by GMAC registration number, which is your GMAC ID. You will have to select your blood group and marital status. Let me show you the rest of the form. Then you have questions related to your religion, mother tongue, minority, if that is applicable. If any scholarship program you want to apply for, the mobile number will automatically be there. The telephone number would be an optional field. So if you want, you can enter a separate number there. The identity proof has to be selected and the options are Aadhaar card, PAN card, passport, voter ID, and driving license. And then you have to upload your recent passport size photograph. The suggestion would be to use the same photo that you have used for your NMAT application. So now we are on the most important part, which is the preferences. So program category and academic background is very, very important. The first thing that you will have to do is select your graduation status, whether you are completed or whether you are appeared. Now, if you select passed, you will have to enter your graduation percentage. But if you select appeared, then you don't have to enter anything. The academic background selection is very important because it decides what preferences you can give. For example, let me show you pharmacy as the education background and show you the options that are visible. So once I give pharmacy, I'll be able to see for preferences, I have Bangalore, Hyderabad, Navi Mumbai, Indore, Mumbai, HR Mumbai. Now these 6 options are there. In addition to that, I can also apply to MBA Pharmaceutical Management. But instead of pharmacy, if I were to change it to say statistics, I will see that pharmaceuticals management is no longer a preference that I can give, but I can apply to digital transformation and the business analytics program. Now, the business analytics and digital transformation program also has additional requirement. So for the business analytics, you need math or stats as compulsory subject in graduation with minimum 55%. For digital transformation, you need math in your graduation with 55%. Again, all of this is given in the eligibility document that we previously saw. So let me choose statistics for now and show you the program preferences. So the first preference that I'm going to give is MBA Mumbai. Now, this particular part of it is going to be a little slow because I've experienced a little bit of slow response from the website. So you might have to be a little patient at this point of time. Once you select a preference, it takes a while to load the next preference. You might get a page unresponsive message kind of a thing. So don't really worry and fret. Just be a little more patient while you're filling the preferences. So once you do MBA Mumbai as the first preference, it is going to vanish from the subsequent preferences and you'll not be able to give that as the option. So what you'll have to do is select something else. Now you must be thinking what preferences to give and how do I decide that? So generally 2 parameters. Number 1 is going to be the cutoffs of last year and number 2 is going to be the placement. So what we are going to do is we'll give you a link to a particular document. In the description, you will find that link. And you can go through it to figure out what were the cutoffs of each of these programs last year, overall, and also at a sectional level. Also, the placement information about these programs can be found on the website of NMIMS. So now you can see MBA Mumbai as my first preference. Let me select maybe the business analytics program as my second preference. Again, you will experience a little bit of a lag there once you make a particular selection. So for third program preference, let me select MBA HR Mumbai. And I'm giving just random selections here. As I said, you go through the document and decide what preferences you want to give. So let me complete all 5 preferences now. Let me enter Bangalore maybe as the next one. and then maybe Navi Mumbai. So I'm done with the 5 preferences that I'm supposed to give in the form. And they have asked a question after this whether you have a math or stat background in graduation. Let me select yes for it. If it is applicable, select yes. Otherwise, you can select no. And then go through the terms and conditions. They have given the refund structure as well, which is there in the document too. And then the declaration. So you click on I agree. And once you're done, click on next. And then you will be taken to the payment part. So before you make the payment, you will have to review the NMAT details that you had submitted. So when you completed the NMAT application, all the data that you have given, you'll be able to see it populated here. Just go through that data. You don't really have to edit any fields because none of them are editable. You just need to go through it and verify if everything is correct. So once you're done with this, at the bottom, you'll be able to see an option which says pay registration fees. And you click on that and complete the payment process. Once you're done with the payment, you're going to get a success message, and then you're done with your NMIMS application. So I hope this video has given you a nice overview of the entire application process, starting from the NMAT registration, the NMAT slot booking, and then NMIMS application process, and selecting your preferences and making the payment for the same. So I hope that video has helped you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to put it in the comment section. We'll be very happy to take your queries. Thank you so much for watching. Wish you guys all the best for your exams.